So I want to talk today about how you can determine how much you earn from your trade business. Now, guys, I know this potentially could sound a bit patronising, right? How can I put this? Well, firstly, I'm not here to patronise anyone, but I am. I do think there's people out there who go through their year as a business owner and don't actually know, one, what they want to earn, or two, what they're going to earn. They're just going through and they're coasting, guys. Now, without sounding too cliche, imagine a captain of a ship, right? And he's going from, I don't know, I can know, Southampton to Malaga, right? You can be pretty sure, unless there's a catastrophe, that ship is going to end up in Did I say Malaga? Malaga, yeah. Right. Um, Imagine he just turned the engine off and got off the ship. And that ship is going to bounce about and it's probably never going to reach Malaga, guys. And maybe that's not the best analogy, I'm not sure, but potentially that's what you're doing as a business owner. Right? And unless you know exactly where you're going and at least very, very roughly how much you want to earn, then you're never going to get there. So I'm going to show you a document today which will hopefully help you get there. Now, I'm going to base it on a figure, and you can have your own figure, of course, and use the same calculations to effectively determine what you're going to earn. Now, the way to look at it is this: if that number is your number, and you're not even getting close to that number for whatever reason, then something is going wrong down the supply chain, right? More than likely, it's going to be you. You're doing something wrong. So, for example, let's say you have a number of 200 grand a year, for example, and you go out there with the best intentions to make X amount per week or month to get to 200 grand, and you're just not getting there because, for example, customers are not buying. They're saying you're too expensive, right? Guys, more than likely, down that supply chain again, you're failing somewhere, right? It probably, not specifically, but probably it's the targeting. It's the clients that you are targeting. So, for example, if you're getting most of your leads organically from Facebook, then they're generally lower quality leads and customers who want to spend less. Whereas you probably want to look at your website and get customers who are on your website to read your story, to learn about your story, to learn about you, to learn about your guarantee, your payment terms, your accreditations, your customer reviews, and so on. Let's jump into this document and see, hopefully, it makes sense. Okay, so full screen. Guys, like any video that I do, nothing's planned. I've literally just pulled this up. If I'm going to do this, I've pulled it up and I'm going to do this video now. So, yeah, don't expect this to be perfect, please. So, how we do this, right? How we're going to basically engineer what you want to earn is we're going to reverse engineer the whole thing. And we're going to start here. So most tradesmen, they just work and they hope they'll end up with X amount of money. Guys, first and foremost, nobody's coming, right? This is on you. So but when we flip it and we reverse engineer your goal, you'll see exactly what you need to do and what you need to charge, how many jobs you want. Now, guys, rather than go through this document ahead of me when I'm talking, you will learn more if you listen to me and almost follow the worksheet down as I speak, right? Now, everyone's different in this world. Some people like to see things, some people like to touch, some people like to hear, right? Well, right now we're doing all of these things, so it's going to touch every one of your senses effectively. So try and stay with me rather than fast forward. So we're going to jump in right now. Okay. So first thing you want to do is set your target. Okay. Now let's just say it's 240 for now. You can do this in your own time and change these numbers if you want. So if you want to earn 240k this year, that's 20 grand a month, which is 5 grand a week, which is £1,000 a day, right? You then want to factor in your teams in the capacity. So let's say you've got two teams, and they will obviously generate 500 quid per day, which will give you your 1,000 quid a day. Okay, do that times 4, times 12, you'll get 240k. So if it's a two man, if you're doing it on man days or per man, and you've got a two-man team, that would be £250. Obviously, if you had a three-man team, then it would be £500 divided by 3. Okay. Now, guys, it's not about guessing a day rate. It's about hitting a profit target. Okay. Now, it doesn't stop there. Obviously, we need to add overheads. So let's say your overheads are 10k a month. I'm sure they're probably not that much, right? But let's say they are. Again, what's that? So 4 weeks, that's 2.5 grand a week. That's 500 quid a day. So again, we need to think about adding that. So we add our overheads. Again, you won't be as much as that. You add your materials and your wages on top. Now that includes your wage. Very important. And that will build your price correctly. So let's sort of reverse on that and look at what we're talking about, right? Before I do, too many trades think, what's the going rate in my area? Guys, forget the going rate in this area. Now, I'm assuming because you're watching this video, you're not on my Off the Tools program, right? And this video is not here to sell you my Off the Tools program, although I hope you buy it, right? I hope you jump in because it's changing lives up and down the country, right? But too many, you're loads of trades business owners are of the mindset that I can't charge that, or that company down the road are only charging 5 grand for a new set of windows. I can't charge 10. Guys, yes, you can. It goes back to what we spoke about at the very beginning. It's how the customers that you target. Okay? If you followed me for a while, you would have heard me say lots of times, if you're the same as everyone else, then the customer's going to buy on price. In which case, yes, you probably do need to be the same price as him, or round about his price in order to get the deal. Because if you're the same as him, the customer's only got one decision to make. Who's the cheapest? Of course he is. You need to be better. And again, on our Offer Tools program, we teach you all about how to be 10, 20, 30 times better than your competition, how to approach, how to present, how to sell effectively. So here's an interactive exercise for you, and you can print this off and do it yourself. What is your desired annual income? What is that? What's your overheads? How many men do you have? How many teams do you have? And how many men do you have in these teams? And then what is your daily profit amount? And guys, this is how the best trade scales. They decide what they want to earn and the price accordingly. You don't have to work longer hours or take these jobs that nobody wants just because you're desperate, for want of a better word, guys. You just need to know your numbers and your price and stick with it. There's my phone. What's the chances? Guys, how do you get to that number? Well, you want to target your perfect client, right? Again, we speak massively about this. What we call in Trade Coach your client avatar, your perfect client. Do you know that client when you go home to your partner and you say, I wish I could work for that client every day? They don't compete on price. They don't haggle with you. They don't stand over you as you're doing your job. They don't take a week to pay. They let you get on with the job. They pay on time. They recommend you to their friends. They don't haggle on the price and so on. You want to add positioning to your business. Now, we speak about this a lot in Module 2 of the Offer Tools program. Guys, we need to be seen as the best. Does your website position you as the best in your industry? Do you know, are you answering questions within your industry that makes you the authority in your space and so on? We need to add value to what you're doing. We call them here at Trade Coach CNEs, critical non-essentials. It's little things that are not critical, but once you start doing them and implement them into your business, they become absolutely critical. And that's where, when you get to a stage where you're the same or everyone's the same and the customer's choosing on price, you're way up here. So when you're way up here and you're three, four, five, maybe even 10 grand more than this guy, the customer's got a decision to make. You know, because yeah, he's a few grand cheaper, but look what you offered that customer. And again, remember, we're already now in front of that client. So we're now no longer dealing with, for example, organic Facebook leads, and we're now 10 times better than our competition. The customer's got a real decision to make at that point. And if you're targeting the right client, then they're not buying on price. Remember, we're not targeting Facebook clients here. You want to learn about sales. You really, really want to learn. Now, guys, I'm not suggesting any trade business owner goes out there with a suit and tie on and turns into this sleazy double glazing salesman. Of course not. But you do want to learn how to sell, when to ask for the sale, when to back off, and these little things. Again, all of this is in our Offer Tools program. And you want to follow up like a boss, right? Now, my team must have put like a boss because I do not use that terminology. Now, I create every documented trade coach, but my team sort of do all this fancy stuff where like these things and all that. And I don't know who added like a boss, but it was one of them. And we'll be having a word, whoever it was. But guys, you want to follow up I want to say like a boss. I'm going to have to say it. You want to follow up like a boss, right? And what that means is when you do a quote, you need to chase that quote up. Effectively, in my own business, my team knew that we need to follow up until that client tells us to F off, right? Hopefully they don't use the F word, but literally, never ever do we leave thinking about it quotes on the table for more than, for example, a maximum of 7 days. Now, what is your takeaway, guys? Well, you can choose how much you earn on an annual basis, and we do this by targeting the right client, as I said, by positioning ourselves properly and by adding value to your pre-install learning sales and how to follow up and close the deal. Again, guys, every single aspect of this and a whole lot more, a million times more, is taught in our Off the Tools program. But I hope you've got value. I'm going to jump back through this just to refresh you on effectively what we spoke about in the last 10 minutes or so. You can just, let's focus on this bit again. Like, just try not to take your eyes down here, right? How much do you want to earn? Let's do it for 100 grand. You want to earn 100 grand, right? Because most trade business owners I know are not even earning that, right? So let's say you want to earn 100 grand. So what's that? Eight and a bit grand a month. Yeah, which is what? Just over 2 grand a week. Is that right? Yeah, over 2 grand a week, which is fucking Darren. Why are you struggling with this? Which is about 400 quid a day, right? And let's say you've only got one team, so you need to price your materials and your labour. If you're on the tools, in fact, irrespective of you're on tools, you need to include your labour in that as well. So materials, labour, overheads, don't forget your overheads, right? Get a list today and write down all your overheads: fuel, insurances, taxes, mobile phones, internet, home office. These are all overheads that you're paying for, that the business should pay for, and more importantly, that the customer should pay for. And get that monthly number or yearly number, whatever, and try and divide it down into days if you can. And if you're on a day rate, of course, and then add that to this day rate. So again, material cost, labour costs, overhead cost, and then your profit number based on this amount here. So I'm going to have to quickly get my calculator out here. So if let's say it's 100 grand, 100 grand. Now I know there's more days in certain months and all that, but we're not going to split hairs over that. Divided by 12 months is 8333. Divided by 4 weeks is 2083. Divided by 5 working days is £416. Your number is £416. So again, materials, labour, overheads plus £416. Guys, that is it. That is all you have to do. What I would recommend doing is adding a margin to your materials, like every business in the world does, right? Of at least 25%. Okay. So if something costs you 100 quid, like if you're a driveway fitter, a manhole cover, if that's 100 quid, you charge your customer 125 quid. And what we use these margins for, yeah, great. If everything goes to plan, then that money's ours, right? But guys, let's be honest, right? Not every day and every week and every job does everything go to plan. So what these margins are for are contingencies for things going wrong. Now, if everything goes right, you've won an absolute watch because not only have you got your 416 quid, but you've got the 25% markup on your materials as well to put towards your profit. And guys, that is it. And I know that may sound too easy. That may sound too simple and too easy for you to just say, I want to earn that. Well, every one of my clients do it. Every one of them do it. They follow the process. And if we ever get to a stage during the course where they're saying, Dan, I set a target of 240 grand and I'm 6 months in and I've only earned 80. Like then me and him or her will go back in and look at what they're doing. They're doing something wrong. And more often than not, it's to do with either lead generation, where they're collating their leads from, or how they're pricing the job. Guys, I hope that's helpful for you. It really, really can be that simple. Oh, and by the way, before I go, guys, if you want to join my program, jump in. Honestly, people are loving this program. It's literally turning people, and I want to say millionaires, and it's true. I don't like saying that because it sounds like some of these other clowns that you hear. I'm going to make you a multi-millionaire and you're going to have a Lamborghini. No, but guys, this course is literally turning people into wealthy people. It really, really is. It's turning businesses into systemized businesses that work without the business owner. I can't make you do it. I can't make you do it, guys. If you go onto my website, everything is there. It is fully transparent. All my prices, how it works. I don't hide anything. I'm not going to try and hook you into a webinar or a live seminar down in some fancy hotel or whatever. Turn the lights off, put the music on, and get my salespeople jump. I don't have salespeople, right? It's me. But guys, come on, jump in. This is literally changing lives. Go on the website. Everything is there. There's nothing hidden. Have a good day.